losers, it's our favorite time yet again where we watch some of the most unhinged and vile things on the internet for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I truly feel like our mental functioning has shifted very severely. I remember we would watch these types of videos and I would absolutely lose my mind at the horror that we would witness. And now we all just casually sit here, we've got our feet up, we've got a beverage, we've got a buddy, and we all just sit back, relax, and enjoy some good old mental torment and pain and suffering. Gone are the days of mental sanity and purity, and we are officially in the times of nothing but evil and horror. YouTube's darkest channels 6. Has anybody checked up on Nicholas recently, dude? Okay, shout out Nicholas, our favorite Nicholas. Nick, how you doing, man? How you doing, buddy? You doing all right? The fact that you have made 6 of these evil, vile videos makes me concerned for your health and your well-being. Nicholas, I'm here for you, man. I'm here for you, my friend. Nicholas, are you okay? Has anybody checked on Nicholas?
Hi everybody, this is Cheyenne.
Cheyenne Kircher was 14 years old when she disappeared.
You know, I'm really bored. I wonder if I got anything to do.
In case my warning was not enough, maybe you can heed the warning of Nicholas.
October
Shine love.
2011. Flyers are placed around the small town of East Dubuque, Illinois, asking residents for their help in finding a missing 14-year-old girl named
Where?
East Dubuque.
East Dubuque, Illinois.
Flyers are placed around the small town of East Dubuque, Illinois.
You made that up. That's not a real place.
Asking residents.
The only real city in Chicago is Chicago in Illinois. That's it. Everywhere else is fake.
For their help in finding a missing 14-year-old girl named Cheyenne Kircher. A well-known member of the community with a notoriously troubled home life, it was perhaps unsurprising when her family woke to find the girl had vanished, leaving behind just a single note stating, "Mom and Dad, you haven't done nothing wrong, but by the time you get this letter, I will be gone. Don't worry about me, I will always love you. You won't find me because I don't want to be found. So at last I say goodbye. Love, Shy."
Those are kind of bars, dude.
The handwriting was hers,
So she ran
and
away.
most importantly, forensic analysts determined that it was not written under any sort of duress, leaving Cheyenne's case rather clean-cut. She was a runaway, and had left.
Okay. I have had a very strong opinion about this, right? I think handwriting analysis is a bunch of bullshit, dude. Now listen, I am not a fucking forensic scientist, dude. I'm not a handwriting analyst, dude. I understand the fact that everybody has their own handwriting, right? Everybody's handwriting's unique, you know what I'm saying? Blah, 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 blah. But he just said they determined that it wasn't written under any form of duress. How would you know? How can you tell the difference between happy handwriting and sad handwriting, dude? I don't know about you, but my handwriting looks the same every time. My handwriting, it's a little sloppy when I'm first right to start the day, but once you get warmed up, dude, you know what I'm saying? The calligraphy's crazy. You know what I mean? How would you know that she was not in duress by just looking at the way her handwriting, you know what I mean? That concept just doesn't make sense to me.
At least partially of her own
How
volition.
would you know? How do you know she's
But
not
why
happy
exactly
and chipper?
did she leave, and at least partially of her own volition?
Aside from the frowny face she put.
But why exactly
Was that
did she
the analysis
leave,
you
and
did?
where exactly had she gone? Questions that only grew more pressing
Great
as the
analysis,
days turned
dude.
to weeks, and then months. And before the town knew it, Cheyenne Kircher had been missing for an entire year. And aside from one single note, left in the time period prior to her disappearance, Cheyenne had managed to leave essentially no trail behind. That is, in the physical world at least.
Hi everybody, this is the new profile of Cheyenne Show.
Despite being described as a fairly socially awkward kid, Cheyenne had found comfort in the world of social media. She frequently posted to her Facebook page and her multiple YouTube channels, which even today sit practically unheard of, with her very first channel hosting just 4 subscribers. But by discovering these accounts, investigators in turn were able to catch a glimpse into what life was like for Cheyenne in the years and months leading to her disappearance, with this trail eventually guiding them to one video in particular. A video that exposed a grim secret within the case that stood before them. Whether they knew it or not, when they first found these YouTube channels, they had simultaneously stumbled across the smoking gun and Cheyenne Kircher's disappearance, and inadvertently, one of the darkest channels across all of YouTube.
Even darker than the one fucking guy
Cheyenne was 14 when she disappeared
who was like
in
filming
October
people in their
2011.
house.
Horrifying accident happened around 3:30.
I came to a realization of something.
Who's this fucking guy?
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
Before we get too far into this, I want to thank today's sponsor, PDS Debt, for helping to make this content financially viable, and ironically, for helping to keep me out of debt. With the holiday season
Nicholas,
now over,
dude.
those holiday bills have like...
Look at Nicholas, man. Such a suave, handsome young man, dude. Shout out Nicholas.
already hit, leaving many of us
Shout out
starting this new
fucking
year
Nicholas,
off with
dude.
even more debt than before. But here's a chance to
Shout out
start
Nicholas.
digging out...
We live in America, Nicholas. There is no such thing as getting
as
rid
my
of your
friends
debt, dude.
actively for you.
We
things
are
for you,
we
but
are
the best
we are
part
in
is,
America,
Score,
dude.
to have a
Everybody's in debt now.
weekly analysis Crowley to get your free debt assessment today.
I'm gonna sit in that debt assessment and go tell me I'm broke as hell.
Ready for action.
To some, it came as little surprise that Cheyenne would want to leave the house where she had grown up. Cheyenne had lived there with her 3 siblings and her mother, Lori Lyons. And though she never met her biological father...
Obviously, we already have, like, an easy pre-assumption, right? Her home life wasn't great for whatever reason. Mom was probably a demonic witch somehow, you know what I mean? And so she decides to pack up and dip. You know what I'm saying? She leaves the note so nobody thinks she's dead, and she just dips. You know what I mean? And then nobody knows it. Obviously, that's the pre-idea, dude. But you know, this is a Nicholas video. Okay, he's gonna hit us with a right hook to the jaw. There's gonna be some weird like twist. It's gonna throw the whole thing off, dude.
Lori had remarried to a man named Terry Abbas, whom Cheyenne referred to as her dad. But making things a bit more confusing was the fact that Terry wasn't the only adult man that happened to be living with them, since Lori also had her boyfriend, Steve Staver, living with the family as well. This isn't inherently a major issue.
So this is one of those weird situations. I've seen these. They have these on like those weird reality shows. Like they make TLC shows about this, you know, where like there's like a person, right? Like it's the mom, and she has like a boyfriend and an ex-husband, and they all live in the same house together, dude. That's like a thing. And it's like a common thing. Like it's a lot. Like it's something that people like really do, which I think is wild. I think it's so wild.
Wasn't the only adult man that happened to be living with them, since Lori also had her boyfriend, Steve Staver, living with the family as well. This isn't inherently a major issue, but it was something that was criticized by locals who knew of their domestic situation, and likely by Cheyenne's classmates as well. But on the topic of said living arrangements, this was far from the most glaring red flag, with that coming in the form of the house itself. When investigators visited the home to interview Cheyenne's family, they were greeted with what one described as the worst smells he had ever experienced. All throughout the house were heaps of trash, dirty laundry, filth, and that unbearable stench. The living conditions were horrendous. Between this, the strange household dynamic, and that note left behind, this seemed to be as straightforward as a runaway case could get. Though it wasn't quite that simple.
Dude,
when police were searching around the home, they realized that Cheyenne
That's
had left
the worst
behind...
thing, dude. That's the worst. When you walk into a building and it just smells. Ugh, dude. It just... And if they don't have any pets, it is 100% rotting food. 100%, dude. There are dishes in the sink with food sitting in water, right? They left it to soak 4 weeks ago, and it's been sitting there ever since. There's mold growing on it, dude.
And her cell phone, which she was supposedly glued to at all times. But even stranger, she left her jacket, as well as her shoes, which seemed bizarre considering that winter was quickly approaching and temperatures were hovering around freezing at this point. So the idea of leaving the house without either of these items made little sense at all, hinting to law enforcement that there may be more to the story than what meets the eye, prompting them to begin poking around her history on social media.
I'm thinking she got picked up.
Starting almost exactly a year before she vanished, Cheyenne began posting goofy, nonsensical videos to her very first YouTube channel, Cheyenne 2010.
That's it. I only came fell on my face.
She's just
The clips
like
here
one of
show
those weirdos.
Cheyenne's personality,
You
as
know?
she's often seen joking around and doing various skits. And though they seem fairly incoherent all these years later, for a child at her age back in 2011, this was the standard for
That's what
small
I'm
personal
saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, a teenager in 2011, this is the average Vine video that they were posting. This is the average Vine video that they was posting, dude. If you think TikToks are cringe now, you should have seen before it was TikTok, when it was like Musical.ly and Vine and shit. That was cringe, dude. You want to know cringe? That was it, dude.
channels. And you can tell that she clearly just enjoyed creating this content, using the channel as sort of an outlet to get thoughts and emotions out into the world, even if practically no one was watching. But dealing with her disappearance specifically, things became far more noteworthy on February 19th, 2011, when Cheyenne launched another YouTube channel called Shy Love 2011.
But somebody had took my account, but I'm back on air and I'm ready to...
Her shit got hacked, dude.
The
That's
channel was essentially
crazy.
a continuation of her previous account, but eventually she would introduce a new style of content, one that featured her family members as stars of the show. On numerous occasions, we see her younger siblings and her older brother joining in on the fun, with the group all seeming to have a great dynamic together, acting exactly the way you would expect of siblings their age.
Crazy ass kid.
But
Put
by
his
far
ass to
her
the
most
wall.
frequent guest was one who rarely, if ever, appeared willingly, and instead would be caught in the background, working at his desk or
Oh, the
coming in
dad.
and out of the room where Cheyenne was
The
filming.
dad.
With that being Terry Abbas,
The
her
fucking dad.
stepfather.
It's my brother Riley.
So there's the mom, there's the dad, there's the boyfriend, there's big bro and little bro,
That's the
and Cheyenne,
guy that lives downstairs.
and Shy, Big Shy, Shy Money,
Dad,
Shy Glizzy.
Terry.
Due to the crowded living conditions of her home, Cheyenne never really had her own environment to film in, so she made do with Terry sitting in the background, even throwing some jokes his way as the two would frequently bicker about him being caught on the camera.
There's been a lot of things changing over the news. Dad, look around, please. I don't want you getting caught in the camera.
Shy, why don't you be quiet? I am.
Okay, whatever.
Doing my business,
Okay,
what I
okay.
But this never really went past anything other than standard family hostilities. In fact, Cheyenne seemed to love the man that she called Dad, posting about him on numerous occasions across her Facebook page.
That's
And as
good.
investigators
W-Dad,
followed the
dude.
trail across her channel, it seemed that the content
Shout out
on her
the
YouTube
stepdad.
page was leading them
He's not the stepdad. He's the dad that stepped up. Ooh, bet y'all never heard that one before. Bet that was the first time y'all heard that. Woo, I got bars, dude.
straight towards a
I
dead
got
end,
bars.
until they found the video.
The video. Now shit gets serious, dude. I've been goofing around this whole time.
You know, I'm really bored. I wonder if I got anything to do.
A livestream was posted to Cheyenne's channel that spanned just 3 minutes and 35 seconds, with a clip beginning exactly how you'd expect from Cheyenne, before her video is interrupted.
I know what I can do.
As she carried out her introduction to this live video, a man suddenly enters the room with only his lower half in frame. Immediately, Cheyenne turns to him and her
I don't
loud...
like the way he walked up to her either. The way it didn't look like the way he walked up was on cue. You know what I mean? Like, he's part of this script, dude. And the way he walked up was weird. I don't like the way you see, dude.
Energetic personality does a total 180.
You see how he walks up?
She goes quiet before
You
grabbing
see
the
how
man's...
you see how close he gets to his face? He like what? Dude, that is weird. That's like he's like drunk at a club, like waltzing up to some girl and getting her face, dude. That's what this reminds me of. I can't even see his face. I've seen a leg of his, and I'm already creeped out. I've seen one. The shoes give it away, dude. I've seen one leg in his shoes, and I'm already freaked out by this guy. He did it. He did it. I don't know what he did. I don't know who he is, but he did it. Just looking at this.
arms and whispering,
He did it.
"I'm on a live stream. Be careful." The man acknowledges this with a simple okay, but then proceeds to grab her by what appears to be the neck. This causes Cheyenne to yell stop before falling onto the bed and snapping back into her comedic personality.
Stop! Did I say you were in this? No, you weren't.
The man then approaches again and begins slap fighting with her, now switching his personality as well.
Oh,
as
he's
he
a
starts
freak.
playing into the joke.
Oh, he's a freak. Oh, he's a freaky freak. He's the freakiest of all the freaky freaks. Is that the boyfriend? Is that the boyfriend, dude? I knew this nothing was good coming out, dude. That's the creepy fucking boyfriend, isn't it?
Very obviously performing for the camera.
See how abusive? No, he's not abusive. No, stop.
Yes, I am. I'll pull her out.
No.
Alright.
See what I have to go through every day?
The man then leaves after exchanging a few more words.
That's
and
the
Cheyenne
creepy
continues the
fucking
video as
boyfriend.
usual.
Man, I don't know what you were going to do today. Can any of my viewers tell me what should I do?
This would be the last video Cheyenne Kircher would ever upload to
Who
YouTube.
is that? Is that the
Viewers?
is that the brother? Who the fuck is that?
I don't know what you were going to do today. Can any of my viewers
That's the brother, right? We seen him
tell
earlier.
me what should I
He was like covering his face.
This would be the last video Cheyenne Kircher would ever upload to YouTube, and months later, she would vanish, never to be seen again. The video insinuates so much: the closeness of the man, the secrecy of it, the way he approached her, and the sudden change in energy from Cheyenne. It all spoke so loudly as to what was happening here, and what had been happening to Cheyenne at the hands of her own stepfather, Terry Abbas.
Was that Terry?
See?
Wait, was that Dad?
Hi, Dad.
Dad, look around, please. I don't want you getting caught in the camera.
That's that creepy guy that lives downstairs.
Was that
Oh,
Dad?
my
Wait a
stepdad,
minute.
Terry.
Wait a
Cheyenne's home life
minute.
truly was troubled, even more so than detectives could have ever imagined, as they began uncovering stories where Terry had supposedly been spying on Cheyenne in the bathroom, with these accounts eventually growing more and more heinous, as it was eventually alleged that Terry had begun with this moment captured on Cheyenne's live stream.
I'm not rewinding that. I'm not rewinding that. Terry, you fucking freak, dude. I was rooting for you. I was rooting for you, dude. I spit bars for you.
Likely being the attempted start of another attack. Only this time, Cheyenne was saved by the camera, if only for a moment. So with this, investigators called Terry in to speak with him as to what really led to Cheyenne going missing, already knowing at this point that he had likely been for years now. And as Terry sat down for his interrogation, it would not take long for the truth to reveal itself.
They were freaky together, I bet. I bet, dude. He was super extra creepy, I bet. Now, that's the vibe that I got, right? When he like walked in and he was like play fighting her, the way he like remember I said he looked drunk walking up to her at a club, dude? Like the way he got in super close and she was like, be careful, you're on the video. I got the vibe that, you know, it was one of those fucked relationships. You know what I mean? Like one of those, you know, grooming situations. I got that vibe, but I wasn't expecting Terry, dude. I was on Terry's side here. Fucking Terry, dude. I was fully expecting the other guy, the boyfriend, dude. Fucking Terry?
Well, you got your man. Hey, you got Terry Evans. Cheyenne is not with us. She's gone. Before I knew it, I was standing over a body. Last thing I remember, my hand was over her neck for some reason.
Terry, you fucking asshole!
Over her neck. I'm doing what? Squeezing, I guess.
Dude, that's sad. That is so
As Cheyenne
sad.
began to grow older, Terry knew that the things he had been doing to her were at a greater risk than
Rest
ever
in
of being
peace,
exposed
bro.
to the world. And Terry didn't trust her to keep that secret. So he had to take care of things himself. One
Dude,
night, he would go
this
into the
is
woods.
so sad. She's just a girl. She's just a young teenage girl going through life in that shit ass house, dude. Because Terry couldn't get his fucking bands up. He's broke as shit. And the mom is whatever, dude. Whatever the hell's wrong with the mom, dude. They live like shit. She still somehow found a way to, like, be happy. You know what I mean? She still found a way to be comfortable in life with her videos and goofing off and doing her thing, dude. And this fucking dude, Terry, just decided he wants to be a fucking freak.
Behind the family's
Man, fuck
home and
Terry.
began digging, carving out a large hole multiple feet below the surface, the perfect size for a body. The next morning, he would then lure Cheyenne outside of the house under the guise of playing a game. And once they were sufficiently away from the home and covered by thick brush, he wrapped his hands around her neck and began to squeeze, ending her life right then and there before proceeding to bury her body
Dude.
in that pre-dug grave.
That's so sad.
But if this was the
And what's
case,
fucked is, like, we saw that last clip, right? He, like, grabbed her neck, right? Nicholas is like, yeah, he grabs her neck. He grabs her throat. And it's like, he's been setting her up for this for a while. He's been prepping for this for a while, dude. Like, she doesn't bat an eye when he grabs her neck, dude. She does not bat an eye because that's what he normally does, dude. This time he just squeezes harder and doesn't let go.
then
You know
how
what I
do you
mean?
explain the note? Well, to show just how premeditated this all was, about a month before she had vanished, Cheyenne was told by Terry that they were going to pull a prank on her mother. One where she would pretend to run away, leaving behind only a note. But rather than going through with the prank, Terry decided to instead keep that note for a later date, thus giving him the perfect decoy to take any
This
suspicion off.
guy's a freak! He tried to get her, frame herself for her own murder. That is wild. That is fucking, that's a new one. That's a new one, dude. He got her to write dude.
Of him, once he carried through with a murder,
Dude,
Terry Abbas was
I
eventually
don't want to give him
sentenced to life in
props,
prison,
but that's
where he
that's
will rot
new.
away for the rest of his days. The
That's
context
new.
of it all makes the videos across her channel that much more unsettling, with the worst being that final upload. But what's perhaps most disturbing is that this was just one brief moment in what was likely a constant stream of abuse. And it's absolutely heartbreaking to think of all that Cheyenne had to endure when the cameras weren't rolling.
Dude, that's so sad.
Okay. Bye.
Where's the boyfriend, dude? Where the fuck
June
is the
3rd,
boyfriend?
2009, 15-year-old Roman Perozic Jr. fires up his remote-controlled helicopter at a small
Dude,
Brooklyn, New York.
And what's the saddest thing about this is that, like, nobody knew. Nobody knew. That's like, these situations happen a lot. These situations happen a lot, dude. Where there's a man in the life and he's a freak. And he's a freak show. But because he's so close to the family, right? He's the literal stepdad. You know what I mean? Because he's so close to the victim and the rest of the family, it goes unknown. You know what I mean? It goes unknown. Or it's known, but nothing's done because they're so, you know what I mean? Because they're so close to the family. I could never think my dear son would never do something like that. He's not a freak. My dear brother would never, my dear whatever would never, you know what I mean? That's what makes it so much worse about when it's situations like this and it's like family members. Obviously, no matter who it is, it's fucked, dude. It's you freaks, dude. But the fact that it's like a family member then makes it even worse, even though it's very common. It makes it even worse because it just makes the situation so much more harder to like deal with and like not, you know, and like fix. You know what I mean? Fucked.
It's warrant rolling.
Fucked all around, dude. Fucked all. And she had no idea what was gonna happen. She wrote her own fucking murder note and didn't even know, dude. That is mind-boggling. That blew my fucking mind, dude. That is sad. That is so sad.
Okay. Bye.
Way to creep me out, Nick. Thanks.
June 3rd, 2009. 15-year-old Roman Perozic Jr. fires up his remote-controlled helicopter at a small Brooklyn, New York
Dude,
park
those are sick.
while his friend stands by closely with a camera trained.
Remote-controlled vehicles are sick. Remote-controlled cars, helicopters, drones. Dude, anything remote-controlled is cool. As a dude, love me some remote-controlled gadgets, dude.
At the device.
Love it.
For many, RC flying is viewed as nothing more than a recreational activity, but for Roman, this was more than just a hobby. It was his life, and his passion and practice gave him the ability to perform tricks that, to an outside observer, seem utterly impossible.
That's hard!
When Roman's helicopter was in the air, it was as if gravity itself failed to exist, performing stunts that seemed to defy physics, turning the craft sideways, zigzagging it backwards, even upside down in a completely unnatural manner, before stopping it on a dime with expert precision. On YouTube, you can find traces of his work all over, with many videos being posted by various amazed observers, along with clips posted to his own 2 YouTube channels, with this initial upload being his first introduction to YouTube. Through his videos and various public showings, Roman was already becoming known as one of the most compelling pilots in the entire community. And despite his youth, this actually isn't as surprising as it may seem. Flying was in his blood. His father, Roman Perozic Sr., was a passionate RC pilot himself, even founding and leading a New York City-based club for fellow RC enthusiasts. Over the years, he would teach his son all there was to know about this.
So this is like an actual thing, like a community of people who love RC cars and RC helicopters. And they have like gang meetups and fly around their helicopter. That's hard. Do they ever have air fights? Like, do they ever do a Beyblade style? Where they like ram the fucking RCs into each other and the whichever one crashes loses? Dude, how do I get into this?
Neat sport, with the 2 often traveling and competing in various events across the country, and flying recreationally together nearly every single weekend, documenting many of these outings across the Roman Perozic Jr. channel. But while it's easy to appreciate the talent involved with flying in such a manner, there was an element at play with these tricks that is easy to overlook, especially by simply watching the videos.
Don't tell me, the helicopters on performance-enhancing
drugs. The element of danger.
He's taking steroids, dude.
Unlike most RC helicopters that you would expect to see in stores that are mainly geared towards children, the device that Roman was flying is much, much bigger, with the craft measuring in at nearly 3 feet long.
That's an actual helicopter. You could put a baby on that bitch and fly it to fucking Peru right now.
Blades of a similar size that were made entirely out of carbon fiber. These devices were large and, most importantly, powerful, as it's estimated that this specific craft Roman was using could reach speeds of up to 60 miles per hour, while the blades themselves spun at speeds of over 250 miles per hour, rotating 4,000 times in just a single minute.
I know where this is going.
This craft was not a toy, with pilots online likening it to a flying lawnmower. And with that context, it does make
As soon as you said flying lawnmower, I know where this exact fucking situation is going.
Videos a bit more nerve-wracking, as Roman can be seen flying dangerously close to himself and others on numerous occasions. But of all the various stunts he'd perform, there was one that was by far the most daring. For the trick, Roman would flip his helicopter.
I love the idea that it's so like if this was a real pilot doing these tricks in a real helicopter, yeah, you'd be like, okay, this is dangerous. But like, he's flying an RC. You know what I mean? It's a remote controlled fake toy helicopter. You know what I mean? Well, it's not a toy because it's big, but it's like, it's a remote control helicopter. So it's interesting that Nick's like, dude, this is like, he's about to perform one of the most dangerous tricks that you possibly can. And it's like, it's a toy car. You know what I mean?
One that was by far the most
like, it's
daring.
crazy.
For the trick, Roman would flip his helicopter upside down, managing to keep it in the air all the while, before shooting it upwards as high as it could go, and when it was just nearly out of sight, he would then cut the power, causing the craft to free fall to the ground below, only for Roman to fire it back up and catch the device right before it crash landed.
Let me take a wild guess. He shot that bitch up, killed it, it dropped, and it dropped too close to himself. He turned that bitch on, and it's... He's got half a head now. That's what I'm thinking.
Throughout his channel, I could only find a few examples of him performing that trick, likely due to its high level of danger not only for this expensive machine, but also for himself and the others around him. Though on the 6th of September 2003...
Dude, it's like, you ever seen Grown Ups? You guys ever seen that movie? Great movie, by the way. Shout out Adam Sandler, dude. Great movie. Hilarious. There's the scene. Was it the first one or the second one? One of those two movies, dude. There was a scene where they played the game where they have an arrow and they all stand in a circle, right? You stand in a circle and then you shoot an arrow straight up into the air, right? And you're supposed to stay in that area, and the last man staying in the area wins, right? Because at some point, you have to get scared, run away, so that you don't get hit with the arrow. You know what I mean? And then, what's his name? David Spade gets hit in the foot. Or not David Spade, the other fucking guy. With the short, funny-looking guy. Rob Schneider, that guy. He gets shot in the foot. He gets hit in the foot with the arrow, dude. That's what this reminds me of. You know what I mean? He launches the helicopter straight into the fucking air, kills the power, and immediately everybody's life is now at risk. Because as soon as he kicks that engine back on, dude, it turns into a weed whacker.
Decided that it was time to give it another try. That day, Roman had been visiting the Calvert Vaux Park, his favorite flying spot in the entire city, where he would fire up his helicopter and begin his usual run of tricks. Beside him was his father and 4 close friends who looked on as Roman executed yet another flawless run, and riding that momentum, he was ready to tackle his toughest stunt. Only there was a slight problem. According to one of the young men watching on, something strange began happening with the device. There was something wrong with the helicopter. I've seen many of Roman's videos. I was looking at the helicopter as it took off and had noticed strange oscillations. There was an imbalance somewhere there. Something was off slightly. It was minute. Whatever was happening with Roman's craft seemed minor, so much so that Roman himself didn't even notice it, or he didn't think that it would cause any issues, as he decided to perform the final trick anyway. And so he flipped the helicopter upside down, raised it up to the bright sky above him, and took his thumb off the controller. The helicopter then fell limp in the sky as it began its rapid plunge below, with Roman, his friends, and his father all watching on as it grew closer and closer to them. Before, he slammed his finger back on the control stick and fired up the rotors to catch the craft. Only he did so just a second too late.
Oh! Oh, wait! Oh, does it hit the fucking ground first? I think okay. Now I have a different idea. Does it like hit the ground, it catches on, it starts bouncing?
Well, Christine, we are at Calvertville Park, where this horrifying accident happened around 3:30 this afternoon, and it's where Roman Perozic and his friends came on a regular basis.
Did it fall on him?
Perozic's flight, it took a horrible turn. Roman Perozic was out in this field on a picture-perfect Thursday, flying his model chopper when it came crashing down, the blade slashing his throat and killing him.
I fucking knew it, dude! I fucking knew it, dude! He tried to catch it too close to himself and shot. Dude, I knew it. I knew it. Fuck, dude. Fuck. Fuck. You guys think I'm joking every time I say fuck Isaac Newton, dude. But this gravity shit.
The guy was flying the helicopter and went out of control and it decapitated him.
Officials say Perozic was out here with 4 friends.
Oh, it cut his fucking head off! I thought it cut half his head off, dude, not his whole fucking thing. That's fucked.
Witness the horrifying
That's fucked.
It's not fully understood what exactly happened, if it truly was some sort of mechanical issue, the wind speed, or if it was simply mistimed by Roman. But despite the helicopter turning on and its blades nearly instantly reaching their full speed, the craft was not able to stop in time to avoid a crash landing.
So, oh, dude. So this situation is sad, right? I get it. It's sad. It was a freak accident. He shouldn't be dead, dude. Rest in peace, dude. I feel so bad. But there's a lot of user error here. There's a lot of user error here. You know what I mean? Like, it's an accident. It's sad. He died, right? But would it be fucked up to say he did it to himself? Would I be the bad guy if I said he did it to himself? Because, right, like, he's doing his tricks, he's doing, you know what I'm saying, he's doing his tricks, first of all, which is, right, the dangerous trick, the blades are turned downwards and falling and spinning, right? The trick itself is dangerous and he's doing it, but, like, when it's falling, right, you can see it, right? So, why didn't he step out of the way? You know what I mean? Like, if I was in a situation, right, and I see the RC car falling, I see the helicopter falling, I'm gonna, like, move, you know what I mean? It's like if you're trying to catch a football, you try to position yourself underneath it, do the opposite in this one, you know what I'm saying? You position yourself away from it. So when you kick it on, you don't get hit, you don't get this. You know what I mean? Unless it, like, lost control and he tried to move out of the way and it just, like, swerved and fucked him up or something, which that's fucked, you know what I mean? But it kind of feels like there's some user error in here, which is still sad, by the way. Okay? People still gonna get mad at me. I don't fuck you. It's still very sad. Still very, very sad. But I feel like he had some fault in his own demise.
And although the weather was clear and sunny that day, a strong breeze had pushed the craft towards Roman as it fell, meaning that instead of crashing on the grass and—
See, there we go. There we go. There was a strong breeze and it propelled it directly into him. See, now that's fucked. Now there's a lot less user error here, and now it's a real freak accident. Now I'm sad, dude.
In front of him, the RC helicopter instead would crash directly into him. The blade first struck Roman's face, impacting with such a strong force that it nearly cut his head clean in half, before the blade would then strike his neck, partially decapitating him. All the while, his friends and father watched on in horror. Within a split second, Roman Perozic Jr. was dead, killed by the very sport he loved so dearly.
That's so sad, man. Honestly, though, I think that's the way I'd go out. This is like some strong Viking Valhalla energy. You know what I mean? Like, he died in battle. You know what I mean? He died doing what he loved. He died flying that RC car, dude. That's, if you're gonna go out, that's the way you want to go out. You know what I mean? You want to die happy. You know what I'm saying?
When Roman posted his first video to YouTube, there was no way of knowing where his passion would take him and what it would all lead to. And at this time, it's evident just how dark this channel has become due to the backstory surrounding it. But there's also another perspective here to consider, as through the darkness, there's actually something quite beautiful about his channel, as thanks to it, his incredible work has been forever immortalized. And despite Roman's death, his passion for piloting RC helicopters and his extraordinary skill will live on and continue to leave people amazed for years to come.
Is this now a banned trick? Is this a banned trick now? I know they do that in gymnastics all the time, or something where there's like a move, a trick that you do, and it's way too fucking dangerous, so they ban it, and you're not allowed to actually do that. Did they do the same thing in the world of professional RC flying? Like, you're not allowed to do the Roman now. Like, it's named after him. It's called the Roman, where you flip it over, launch it, drop it, kick it back on. You're not allowed to do that anymore. It is now illegal in the sport of RC flying. Should be. Should fucking be.
It started with a simple video.
Until the incident.
How's it going, guys? Today, I'm gonna be talking about fitness as a whole and the challenges it brings.
Posted by Austin Harff, an 18-year-old college student living in Juniper, Florida, fitness challenges and overcome
like
was the inaugural upload to his YouTube channel called A Frost.
Nah, he looks like somebody that would go to college to play football. Absolutely. Absolutely. He's got to be a receiver, right? He's a receiver or a D-end.
Having lived his entire life in the area, Austin had developed a reputation locally for being goofy, but also intelligent and driven, finding a deep love for fitness upon taking up football and bodybuilding at a young age. And in his first upload, his passion and personality were on full display as he shared his thoughts on the world of dieting and weightlifting, with the video's sole purpose being to help others who may want to follow in a similar path.
It's pretty tough, man. It's not easy, but nothing in life worth having is easy. Remember that, guys. You remember that? You remember that?
Dude, I remember.
You gotta promise me that you'll remember that.
Oh, I remember.
It seemed apparent that Austin aspired to develop a career online as a fitness coach. And despite this being his first crack at launching a YouTube channel, he does come across as being articulate and likable. And aside from some general awkwardness due to the lack of polished editing, Austin appears entirely normal. A stark contrast to what was soon to come. Despite launching his channel on a concise high note, the next 27 uploads would take on a much different tone, as rather than keying in on health and wellness, Austin immediately shifted his focus onto writing and performing rap music under his new alias, Austin Frosty.
What? Austin Frosty! Why is that fire? Hold on. Why does that bang? Austin, why does he look like, what are these Obama? Make trap great again. Where is this mixtape, dude? Young Thug is shaking in his fucking boots, dude. Austin Frosty, make trap great again. That sounds like one of the greatest, like, underground rap mixtapes, dude. That sounds like something 2 Chainz would drop back in the day, dude. Are you kidding me?
Performing rap music under his new alias, Austin Frosty.
Frostbite Beats.
Oh yeah? Frostbite Beats?
Bill Cosby.
Yeah. Wait, what about Bill Cosby? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. What about Bill Cosby, dude?
Bill Cosby.
You roofied Bill Cosby? Did I hear that right? Dude, it's been so long since I've done a music reaction, bro. Dude. He roofied Bill Cosby. And got him to show him his P. This is the greatest undiscovered talent of our generation, dude. Dude, fuck a Playboy Cardi, dude. Austin Frosty, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Cosby. PP,
This music is not for everyone, to the point where it's almost indiscernible from irony.
Let's
However, the
go.
persistence of his uploading hints that this went far past your standard joking, as there were moments in these songs where it genuinely felt like it was coming from a different person entirely.
There's a hobo on the street corner, and he says, real talk, homeboy. Oi, 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 oi.
Someone who seemed
Well, less
somewhat
polished
disconnected
on that
from
one, I'd
reality,
say.
as hinted at further, when he eventually returned to the camera's forefront.
What's up, guys? Today I'm going to talk about the ketogenic diet.
After his run of consecutive music uploads, Austin began appearing on camera
Why does he
yet
look
again,
like,
where his
ripped
once
Danny
articulate and
Gonzalez
well
did?
put together self began moving and speaking more sporadically.
And other low-starch vegetables like spinach.
Does he have CTE? Dude, does he have CTE? He played football, dude. Does he have Antonio Brown brain now? Because that's what I'm getting. That's what I'm getting from this, is that he's got some type of brain injury or some type of mental thing going on, and he's, you know what I'm saying, he's just doing his thing. You know what I'm saying, making weird raps and being weird on video. You know what I mean? But he's got something going on, dude.
Get hoes, get money, get big, get suits, fly planes, run train. I'm a man.
That's
Even
Austin
his editing
Frosty
began to
talking
change,
right there,
with
dude.
unusual
Oh, yeah.
clips being interjected for no discernible reason.
Ketosis helps your body get into this caloric deficit. Cutting carbohydrates may sound difficult.
Even given the small sample size, it was clear that Austin's behavior was changing. And although traces of this changing persona were starting to be seen on his YouTube channel, this behavioral shift was far more evident.
I seriously think it's like CTE. We saw the same thing with Antonio Brown, dude. Antonio Brown was perfectly normal. He was my favorite receiver, dude. Perfectly normal, chewing up your favorite fucking defense, dude. Mossing the fuck out of your favorite corner, dude. Just killing it, you know what I mean? What the best receiver in the game during his time, Antonio Brown, dude. You know what I mean? One of the best of the generation. And we watched him in real time go off the wire, dude. Making those all kinds of crazy, like, random tweets that make no fucking sense. He got into all kinds of shit with his, like, ex-girlfriend and all kinds, you know what I mean? So, like, we've seen this in real time. We've seen what CTE does in real time. And, like, he's given, like, the same, like, vibe to me. You know what I mean? Like, just, like having manic episodes randomly. You know what I mean?
For those who knew him personally. Starting around the time that the A Frost channel had launched, Austin's once fun-loving personality became cold and hostile to those around
he
him,
got hit
which was
a
mainly
little
due to the
too hard
fact
on
that
one
Austin
play,
began to
and it was over
experience
from
what
there.
he would later call visions. He would turn off his lights to go to sleep at night, only to be met with the sight of demons and monsters who would approach him from the shadows.
That's called schizophrenia. That's literally, he's schizo, dude. That's it. Now, I see demons in my room too, but that's for a whole different reason.
Only to be met with the sight of demons and
That's
monsters
for
who would
a whole
approach him
they
from the
just want to eat my ass,
shadows.
dude.
And soon, these creatures began appearing everywhere he went, especially in the darkness, prompting Austin to stop sleeping, as he grew paranoid of what these things might do to him. As a result, his mental state fluctuated even more, and he soon thought that perhaps he was a divine being himself, a god of sorts, maybe even Jesus Christ. His descent was
schizo.
jarring
Absolutely.
and extremely concerning, and at the rate he was going, it seemed certain that something was bound to snap, until a breakthrough.
I came to a realization of something. I no longer want to follow Arnold or any other bodybuilder. I want to follow myself, you know? I want to actually believe in myself.
That's
In
a
his video
ball.
entitled What I'm About in Bodybuilding, we see a side of Austin that hadn't come through since really his very first upload, as he sits down in front of the camera and just lets loose, speaking candidly about his fitness journey and the path that he was on.
I just know that they're not me, you know? I know what's right for me. I don't need...
This is making me think maybe there was some weird side... Maybe he was juicing. You know what I mean? Bodybuilders are juicers. That's how you get that fucking big. You know what I mean? You can't get like Arnold naturally. That's not a thing. Scientifically, physically, humanly impossible, dude. You got it, dude. You do not look like Sam Sulek without shoving a needle in your ass, dude. Doesn't happen. Now I'm thinking maybe he was like juicing and it was giving him like weird side effects. You know what I mean? And that's why he's like, I'm not following Arnold, I'm following myself. Because maybe he realized that the side effects of the juice is like fucking him up or something.
Drugs. I know that they can change me. But the thing is, that's not being healthy, you know?
See what I mean?
Being healthy is what's natural, you know?
See what I
He
mean?
spoke of wanting to do
Am I good at this or what?
things his way and how he was striving to be the most healthy version of himself, both physically and mentally. It's almost shocking how calm Austin seems here, just based on his prior uploads. But despite appearing like a positive sign on the surface that Austin was perhaps finally getting the help he needed, there was still an air of uncertainty to it all. And there was really no way to know at the time whether his demeanor in this video was a sign of better.
Oh God. Peace out. Peace.
The incident,
or
dude.
worse things to come.
Why are you so ominous with it,
On the
dude?
afternoon of August 15th, 2006,
What day?
On the afternoon of August 15th, 2006,
Oh my God, that was my birthday. August 15th, 2006, dude. I turned 9. I turned 9.
Austin had joined his father and his father's girlfriend out for a nice dinner, with the family taking their
I'm pretty sure I had a birthday party at laser tag.
seats and waiting to place their orders. But Austin wanted no part of it, as he sat there silently, his mind stewing all the while, until he just couldn't take it anymore. For some reason, it was all just too much, and he stood up and left the establishment without saying more than a few words. Outside, he began to walk, then jog, and then run, sprinting in the direction of his mother's house, who lived nearby. He barged into the then empty home and felt the overwhelming urge to chug the nearest liquid he saw, but it wasn't alcohol or anything close. No, it was vegetable oil, as he guzzled down nearly a full bottle of it.
Whoa, whoa.
No, it was vegetable oil, as he guzzled down nearly a full bottle of it, before leaving the home and heading back towards the restaurant, this time confronting his father, yelling and even attempting to hit him, for no apparent reason whatsoever. Once more, he just couldn't take it, and he fled the restaurant again, as his mind felt as if it was crumbling with each passing second.
Oh, this is fucking sad. He's having like a literal, real mental breakdown right now. Like an actual, real life mental breakdown.
Until he got outside and was met by the sight of something utterly horrific. It looked like some sort of creature, standing there just staring at him. He screamed at the top of his lungs and began sprinting away into the dark night. He ran as fast as he could, desperately calling for help, desperately looking for help, until he saw a bright light in the distance. Salvation, he thought, as he sprinted towards it and then directly into the light.
Dude.
911, you need fire, police, or medical. Please, and medical. Don't open that, don't open that.
Fire rescue, what's your address?
Young man, a woman, across the street.
Oh,
Are they outside or in a
fuck.
house?
It's in a garage.
Oh, he's fucking her up.
Shortly after Austin began hallucinating, a 911 call was made to police in the area, alerting them of an attack in progress.
That is
a middle-aged
so-
woman was being brutally beaten in her garage as her screams echoed throughout the empty street. Police would arrive within minutes, where they shine their light in that same garage, only to be met with a grisly discovery. Inside, a woman lay motionless,
He
her
killed
body hardly recognizable due to the assault that she had endured, while next to her were two men. One was lying limp, his body hacked into pieces scattered about, and the other was wrapped around him, with his face buried in the man's abdomen.
Oh my god, he killed both of them! Oh, fuck!
Officers approached, guns drawn, where they would finally catch a glimpse of the second man's face. It was Austin Harff, whose body was completely covered in blood, and his mouth filled entirely with flesh.
Oh, hell no, dude. Oh, hell no, dude. What? This goes beyond a mental breakdown, dude. He had a mental realignment. Are you kidding me?
Spitting out chunks of the man's torso towards the officers before going back in for more, this time attacking his face.
Are you
in that moment,
fucking
Austin
kidding
was
me?
quite literally eating this man, and eating him alive, as despite being cut into pieces and partially eaten, the man continued to scream.
Oh my god! This is sick! This is sick! Oh hell no! Imagine being eaten alive! Imagine being eaten alive!
Which made shooting Austin impossible without the risk of killing him too.
Oh my...
The police yelled at him.
Just kill me, dude! If I'm cut into a million pieces and a motherfucker's eating me, just end it, dude. I'm done. I'm done, dude. Just fuck. Please miss. Multiple times, dude. Dear God. Are you fucking kidding me? Are you... Dude. What? Dude, this might... This might be some weird, extreme schizo thing. Cause why did he just turn into a cannibal?
Him to stop, but nothing. They tased him, but nothing.
But he's a superhuman. His body is infected with the energy and the being of the demons that he was witnessing, dude. He's invincible now. Are you fucking for real?
They kicked him, they beat him, but still nothing. He just kept on eating. They even sent their canine in to subdue and attack him, but Austin somehow fought it off. In that moment, it was as if Austin were truly invincible. It wouldn't be until officers got a handcuff around him and the entire unit pulled together that they were finally able to drag Austin off of the man, ending the ordeal once and for all.
So he literally got possessed with the powers of Satan, dude. What am I hearing? They tased him, they beat him, and he's just fucking chowing down.
When Austin was sprinting into the night, that light that he was running towards was actually an open garage in a residential neighborhood, where inside a woman named Michelle Stevens had been relaxing and watching television, waving to the passing neighbors, until she saw Austin sprinting towards her. There was nothing she could do, as without provocation, he brandished a pocket knife and began attacking her mercilessly, before turning his attention to her husband, John Stevens III, who desperately tried to intervene. At some point in the scuffle, neighbor Jeffrey Fisher would hear the commotion and immediately run over to help, only for Austin to turn to him and warn him that he didn't want any of this, before lunging after him, stabbing him too multiple times. Jeffrey managed to escape by slamming Austin's head into the ground, partially cracking his skull.
Oh my! And his skull was cracked! His skull is cracked! He's getting tased, and he is completely unmoved. This is next level freak, dude. Are you fucking... Fuck... Okay, we don't need to study anybody's brain. Study this man's cells, dude. We need to harness this man's fucking cells and create immortality, dude. Are you fucking kidding me? His skull was cracked! The whole time!
Somehow, the young man got right back up and continued.
One last bulk before the cut. That is so fucked up. That is so fucked up. Yeah, dude, one last bulk, dude. You gotta get the protein in. That's fucked up.
To fight as if
No,
nothing
I didn't
had
say that.
happened.
I didn't
and
say that.
recognizing
You
the grave
saw it in the
danger,
chat, dude. I
Jeffrey
didn't
fled
say
to
it.
his home where he called the police.
He beat her up. I ran over there. I'm bleeding profusely here at the moment.
Okay.
I don't know what happened.
All right. Can you tell me if she's conscious or is she unconscious?
Well, my wife's looking at my back, and it appears I got punctured.
Yes, Dad. In the neck, in the head, three puncture wounds.
Who would arrive soon after and eventually restrain Austin, but not before he had ended the lives of Michelle and John Stevens, both of whom were eventually pronounced dead on the scene.
That's so sad, bro.
How's it going, guys? Today, I'm gonna be talking about fitness.
Austin's channel gives us a front row seat
Dude.
to a man's descent into madness, but even watching it back
He
today,
had
with all
he had to have had some like mental disorder, like one of those like extreme ones, you know what I mean, the ones that are rare, right? Because people have mental illnesses all the time. For something this extreme, you gotta have one of those like really rare ones that only like 4 people in the history of the world ever had. You know what I mean? And it's so rare, you can't treat it, and the only thing you can do is lock this motherfucker in the loony bin. You know what I mean? It's gotta be something like that, dude. This goes beyond just like basic schizophrenia, dude. Like, he's got something fucked up there. And I fully think that football made it worse. I fully believe football made it worse, dude. Because if he's a fitness junkie using the football, he was getting hit in the head. He was probably juicing at some point. He's got all this mental shit going on. I think it was just layers of things stacked on top of each other, and it all just fucking blew up in his brain.
all the red flags, the idea that he could be capable of something
That's
like
what I think
this
happens.
just seems so shocking. Which begs the question, why did he do it? Well, the attack itself was entirely unprovoked. He had never even met the couple, and the couple had never even spoke to the man. And given what could only be described as his superhuman strength in that moment, many would assume that this was the case of drug use gone wrong, with it having shades of a similar case that happened not too far away.
I remember the bath salts guy.
Strangely, and showing what appears to be superhuman strength.
I remember the bath
Over
salts
the weekend,
guy.
Rudy Eugene attacked a 65-year-old homeless man, chewing off most of his face.
That's why they, I think, isn't this why they banned bath salts? Was this fucking guy? This went like crazy on the news. And I think is this why they banned bath salts? Because I remember they banned them for a while. You could not buy bath salts at Target. But now you can, dude. Now you can just go get some bath salt, dude. But I think it was this fucking guy's fault.
But contrary to this belief, it was determined that during the attack, Austin was not under the influence of any hard drugs, and instead only had tiny trace amounts of alcohol and THC in his system, but not nearly enough to cause the violence that transpired that day. Rather, experts claim that this was the case of an acute psychotic episode, with court documents shedding more light on Austin's mental health during that moment, where he would account his visions of these creatures and all the other delusions he had been experiencing. And even though he was never given proper help for what was eventually determined to be his schizophrenia, his parents
I knew it was skits!
Clearly recognized that he could be a danger to himself and to others, with his mother even calling the police after he had ran away from the restaurant that night.
Police Department Lodge recorded. Is this Chrissy?
Yes, I don't know how to do this. My son, he's kind of taken off, and I'm concerned about his own safety.
But the only problem was, it was just a bit too late.
That's so sad, bro.
Due to the results of Austin's drug test, it was determined that he was not of sound mind when the crime was committed, and that he would not have been able to consciously control himself, leading to the court's decision that he would not serve any jail time, and rather he was placed in a mental health facility, where he'll remain until he's deemed safe to assimilate back into society.
Dude, that is so fucked. Dude, you know, the whole idea of locking people up until they're good enough to be back in the fucking, into society, dude. What about that guy? How do you know that he's good enough to go back into society? Because he was perfectly normal the whole fucking time, and then just randomly decides to brutally murder somebody in the fucking middle of the night, dude. Running around the streets, running people's garages, chopping them up and eating them, dude. It was all fun and games until he started fucking eating a dude. Now all of a sudden he's crazy, dude. You know what I mean? And it's like, when he's in the loony bin, he's not gonna be eating people. You know what I mean? They release his ass and he eats another dude. You know what I mean? Like, there's a line. You know, I'm not an expert. I'm not a mental health expert. I'm not a psychiatrist, psychiatric evaluator, dude. That's not me. All right? I don't know shit about shit. Okay? All I do is complain about things and yell, okay? Which is what I do best. And that's what I'm doing right now, dude. But, you know what I mean? Like, how long do you keep him in there? How do you know what I mean? I think he should stay in there forever. Dude, this was one of the worst fucking videos I've ever seen in my life. This is one of the most worst videos I've ever seen in my life, dude. These are all so incredibly, horrifically sad. Like, now I'm depressed. It's 1 a.m. and I'm going to bed sad, dude. This little girl was brutally murdered by a raging freak. This guy was involved in an absolute horrific freak accident. And then this dude had one of the most insane mental breakdowns. Craziest, horrific mental breakdowns I've ever heard of in my entire fucking life, dude. I don't know how this dude, Nicholas Crowley, finds enjoyment in making me suffer watching through all of these, dude.